The next topic is about explain the process of income generation in the form of circular flow of income. Process of income generation in the circular flow of income. In the circular
flow of income.
Flow of income. Very important topic. ये हमें पहले ही पढ़ना था, और भी इसका क्वेश्चन बन सकता है. What is circular flow of income? What is circular flow of income? Circular flow of income. How income is generated in an economy in a circular form. In a circular form. Circular form में किस तरह income generate होता है economy. तो ये जो सिस्टम है यही हर इकोनॉमी में चलता है सिस्टम. How income is generated. Income is generated. So the solution is very clear that first we take when income is generated in an economy which has only, let us assume there are only two sectors in an economy. In economy we imagine in economy we have an imaginary economy in which there are only two sectors. So for that we can write down circular flow of income in two sector economy. In only two sector economy. अगर दो सेक्टर वाली इकोनॉमी है. What are those two sectors?
Household sector.
Household sector and firm sector. Household sector and firm sector. We assume there are only two sectors in an economy in which income is generated. The government do not generate income. We keep the government's role constant. A closed economy. A closed economy in which the government role is negative, no role of government in the income generation process. But in modern economies, the government role is very crucial. It is talk of primitive times or conventional days.
Yes, sir.
Days when only two sectors were working in an economy. Thus, how income is generated in an economy in which there are only two sectors. These are household sector and firm sector. We know that income is generated only when there is production process. Only in the production process.
Yes, sir.
In the production process. So when goods and services are produced, income is generated. So those goods and services are produced through production process. Thus, we assume an economy, or we make an imaginary economy. We assume an economy in which there are only two sectors. There are only two sectors. These are household sector and firm sector. Now the question is, what is household sector? Household sector is that sector who owns and supplies the factors of production to the firm sector.
Yes, sir.
That sector which owns and supplies factors of production like land, labor, capital, organizers to firms. And
Yes,
firm sector is that sector who receives or demands the factors of production from households and produce goods and services.
Services.
Goods and services.
Services.
So thus, there are only two sectors, household sector. The household sectors are the owners of factors of production, and owners, and the household sector is the owner and supplier of factors of production. Factors of
Production.
production like क्या factors of production like
Land, labor, capital.
capital and organization. The firm sector, on the other hand, so this household sector is the supplier of factors of production. The firm sector, on the other hand, receive or demand factors of production or use these factors of production. Use factors of production and produce goods and services. And produce goods and
services.
So, firm sector demands or uses these factors of production, receives from household sector, and produce goods and services. Then supply them to household. Then supply them to households for payment. For some payment. Yeah. For some payment. So household receive and supply them to households. These goods and services are supplied to households and receive payments. Firms supply goods and services to the households. First, they receive factors of production and produce goods and services. Then they supply these goods and services to households and receive payments as consumption expenditure from households. In this way, income is generated in the economy. Thus, we can say, thus households supply factors to firms. Supply factors to firms. The firms produce goods and services, supply them to households and receive payment for goods and services. Goods and services as consumption expenditure, which is consumption expenditure of households. So this is how income is generated. Income is generated in an economy. Yes. So we can show this circular flow of income in two-sector economy with the help of the diagram also. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Ye clear ho gaya?
Yes, sir.
Households are the owners of factors of production. They supply these factors of production to the firms. Firms use these factors of production and produce goods and services. They supply these goods and services to the households and receive payment for goods and services. services.
Services.
और if there is no existence of money, वो भी हम डिस्कस करेंगे इसमें. If there is no existence of money, how firms supply factors of production and receive goods and services? That is in the shape of kind. Both the sectors receive and pay in the form of kind, not in the form of cash. अगर
Yes, sir.
रुपये का वजूद नहीं होता,
होता.
अगर रुपये का वजूद नहीं होता तो तब क्या हालात थी, कैसे इनकम जनरेट होता था. तो जब उसके बाद जब मॉडर्न इकोनॉमीज आ गई, when there has been the existence of money, existence of cash, how situation changed.
Change.
We will start with this diagram. थोड़ी जगह में रखूंगा यहाँ. Firms, household sector and firm sector. We have household sector and firm sector.
Firm sector.
These households नजर आता है, बोर्ड नजर आता है, ठीक.
Yes, sir.
ये households जो हैं, they own, जो भी लैंड है, लेबर है, कैपिटल है, ऑर्गेनाइजर, वो कहाँ रहते हैं? Whether it is landlord, वो भी घर में रहता है, उसका घर है अपना.
Yes, sir.
लेबरर्स है, उनका घर है अपना. ये समझो, ये चारों यहाँ बैठते हैं, ये उनका घर है.
Yes, sir.
उनको सुबह जाना है ना काम के लिए, तो
Yes,
लैंडलॉर्ड ने भी अपना लैंड रेंट पे दे दिया, लेबरर भी काम करने के लिए गया, कैपिटलिस्ट भी अपना कैपिटल रेंट पे दे रहा है, ऑर्गेनाइजर भी अपना काम करने के लिए निकलता है. तो ये सारे जाते हैं कहाँ? Firms.
Firms, sir.
So we can say these households supply land, labor, capital and organizers to the firms. Firms क्या करते हैं? They produce goods and services, और यही goods and services ये सप्लाई करता है यहाँ. Goods and services. ठीक है, ये यहाँ आते हैं goods and services. So goods and services comes from firms to the households.
Household sector.
इन्होंने अपना काम फर्मों को दे दिया, फर्मों ने गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज बनाए और इनको काम के बदले गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज दी थी.
Yes, sir.
सो दिस इज कॉल्ड, क्या कहते हैं इसको? रियल फ्लो. इसको कहते हैं हम रियल फ्लो, जहां there is no existence or involvement of cash or money. When there was non-existence of money, non-existence of cash, जब barter system चलता था, goods were exchanged for goods.
Exchange. Yes,
मैं एक लेबरर हूं, मैंने काम किया फर्म में दिन को, फिर मुझे कुछ चीजें मिल गई वहां से. मैंने काम का दिन किया, वहां से मुझे एक जूता मिल गया. मैंने काम किया यहाँ, मुझे कपड़ा यहाँ से मिल गया. ऑर्गेनाइजर ने काम किया तो उसको कुछ चीज वहां मिली बदले में. सो दिस इज रियल फ्लो. तो इनकम जनरेट हो गई इन द फॉर्म ऑफ काइंड, इन द फॉर्म ऑफ गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज. सर्विसेज वायर, सर्विसेज ऑफ लैंडलॉर्ड, लेबरर, कैपिटल, ऑर्गेनाइजर, they were sold for goods and services. जब मनी की एग्जिस्टेंस आ गई, तब सूरत हाल चेंज हो गई, सिचुएशन चेंज्ड ऑल टुगेदर. हाउ? तो बार्टर सिस्टम था वो खत्म हो गया. अब हाउस होल्डर्स ने लैंड, लेबर, कैपिटल, ऑर्गेनाइजर फर्म्स को दे दिया, उन्होंने उसके बदले दे दिया, कैश दे दिया उन्हें इसके बदले. That is payment for factors or factor payment for factors. in the form of rent, wages,
Wage,
interest
interest, profit.
and profit. तो ऊपर के ही सिस्टम में खत्म, एक साइड हो गया. इन्होंने दे दिया लैंड लेबर कैपिटल ऑर्गेनाइजर, इन्होंने दे दिया रेंट वेजेस इंटरेस्ट प्रॉफिट
Yes, sir.
इन कैश. अब हाउस होल्डर्स को ये मनी, दे कैन नॉट कंज्यूम मनी इन द रियल फॉर्म. चलो एक लेबर ने यहाँ काम
Yes.
किया, उसने 10,000 रुपये कमाए, तो ये तो करेंसी नहीं खाएगा. इसको क्या करना है, इसको गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज लाने हैं.
Yes, sir.
ये फर्म्स गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज इनको प्रोवाइड करता है, तो ये इनको
Yes, sir.
कैश प्रोवाइड करता है अगेंस्ट गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज.
Services.
कहते हैं कंजप्शन एक्सपेंडिचर. सो पेमेंट फॉर गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज जिसको कहते हैं,
Yes, sir.
पेमेंट फॉर गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज, पेमेंट फॉर गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज,
Services.
जिसको हम कहते हैं कंजप्शन एक्सपेंडिचर. भी हम पढ़ रहे थे एक्सपेंडिचर मेथड.
Yes, sir.
कंजप्शन एक्सपेंडिचर. तो जो कुछ यहां से फर्मों ने रेंट वेज इंटरेस्ट प्रॉफिट इनको दे दिया, अगर ये फॉर एग्जांपल 10,000 करोड़ है, 10,000 करोड़ है, तो यहां भी ये 10,000 करोड़ आएगा. यहां से 10,000 करोड़ हाउस होल्डर ने ले लिया, हाउस होल्डर ने वापस कर दिया फर्मों को 10,000 करोड़. So that
Yes, sir.
income is equal to expenditure. So that is why we call national income is equal to national expenditure. They are identically equal.
Expenditure. Yes, sir.
So this is circular flow of. So income is generated in the form of circular flow. पहले लैंड लेबर कैपिटल ऑर्गेनाइजर जाता है फर्मों को, फर्म्स प्रोड्यूस
Yes,
करते हैं गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज, वो जाता है
Goods and services.
अगर लैंड लेबर कैपिटल ऑर्गेनाइजर इन्होंने सप्लाई किया तो इन्होंने पेमेंट की है रेंट वेजेस इंटरेस्ट प्रॉफिट.
Yes, sir.
इन्होंने गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड किए तो इन्होंने पेमेंट की है
Consumption expenditure. Yeah.
कंजप्शन एक्सपेंडिचर के फॉर्म. सो दिस इज हाउ इनकम इज जनरेटेड इन द
Yes, sir.
इकोनॉमी.
Two sector economy.
हाँ, हम इस डायग्राम को एक्सप्लेन भी कर सकते हैं इन आवर ओन वर्ड्स. तो हम ऐसे लिख सकते हैं फ्रॉम द अबो डायग्राम, in the upper portion, in the upper side of the diagram, in the upper side of the diagram,
Diagram.
the factors of production like land, labor, capital, organizer are supplied by households to firms.
Firms.
The factors of production like land, labor, capital, organizer, they are supplied by households to firms,
Firms.
and firms pay in the form of rent, wages, interest, profit. Rent, wages, interest, profit. And in the lower portion, lower side of the diagram,
Diagram.
the goods and services are produced by the firms and supplied
Households.
to the households. And supplied to the firms,
Households.
goods and services with the help of factors of production and supply them to the householders. The householders make payment for these goods and services to the firms in the form of consumption expenditure. In the form of consumption. So in the lower portion of the diagram, the goods and services are produced by the firms and supplied to the householders. In the opposite direction, the householders make payment to the firms as payment for goods and services in the form of consumption expenditure. So in this way, there is income generation in the economy. There is income generation in the
Income generation.
in this way
Economy.
we can say there is money flow as well as real flow in the economy. There is money flow
Yes,
as
sir.
well as real flow in the
Real flow.
economy. So this is in the one sector, in the two sector model, circular flow in two sector
Two sector.
model. When there is existence of government, how income is generated in the three sector economy, or when
Economy.
there is government sector, or first, before discussing this government sector, we will take the next step, that is saving and investment. Circular flow with saving and investment. ये clear हो गया?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
तो ये है एक है. Now in the next part we will discuss about the circular flow with saving and investment.